Morning, boys and girls. All right. So where we left off last, it was the end of January, and they were getting ready for their free day at school, which I guess involved going into the snow. So everyone had to bring their snow clothes, and they were ready to rock and roll. Let's see how this goes. So we're going to start with the character of Peter. All right. I ran into the classroom. Does everyone have their stuff? I yelled. Mr. T looked up from his desk. Calm down, Peter, he said. Does everyone have their stuff? I said again, still excited. Calm down, Mr. T said again. Take a deep breath. I took a deep breath, and in a normal voice, I said, Does everyone have their stuff? I think so, Mr. T said. Let's go then. Let's go, I said. We'll go out later, Peter. Besides, we need to take attendance and lunch count and listen to the morning announcements. Mr. T also figured if we went out and got soaking wet first thing, we'd be miserable for the rest of the day. He had a good point, but I still wanted to go outside. We spent the morning spread out all over the place, playing different games. I played categories with Mr. T, Luke, and Jeffrey. Letter B came up on the dice. We raced through putting down our ideas, and then it was time to share. We took turns going down the list, and then the item, things at a beach, came up. Jeffrey shared, then Luke, then Mr. T, and then it was my turn. I leaned in and said, Babes. Who brings babes to the beach? Luke said. Not babies, babes, Jeffrey said. I almost died, but wait, it gets better. Our very own brainiac, Luke, just sat there watching us laugh. Then he said, What do you mean? Can you believe that? He didn't know babes? I freaked out. Holy smokes, what rock are you living under? Mr. T jumped in at that point. Easy, Peter, Mr. T said. Lots of girls don't appreciate that term. It sounds as if you don't respect them. And part of being a man is knowing how to respect women. Oh, Luke said, girls. His light bulb suddenly turned on. Mr. T looked at me and smiled, shaking his head. Mr. T's the best, I thought. This was the last time I got to hang out with him. Maybe we could start making predictions of what's going to happen next. Peter thought he was so smart all of a sudden. He won a homework pass off a lucky guess, and he confused me in categories. Big deal. I resolved, dollar word, to get him. Oh boy, here we go. Now it's Jeffrey's turn. Never thought I'd play a game with my teacher, but I did. I played categories with Chirrupt and Luke and Peter. And I learned that I'm even smarter than Luke at some things. But that doesn't make him out to be a bad kid, just a dork. As smart as he is, Luke doesn't make a stink about it. I like him for that. But Peter, sometimes he gets on my nerves. He's always doing stuff and never gets in trouble. I knew he was just waiting to get outside. I had a surprise for him. It would have been better if I never got involved. If I just stayed hating school, none of this would have happened. Now we're going back to Peter, and this will be our last character that we'll talk about. Finally, we were outside. The snow was perfect. The kind that packed and formed super snowballs. I scooped up a handful as we walked toward the field, squeezing it over and over. No snowballs, Mr. T had told us before coming out. We reached the corner and stuffed the snowball in my pocket. It was too perfect to just toss down. It wasn't like I was going to throw it. I ran onto the untouched field. The field was perfect, too. There was a mountain of snow right in the middle that we climbed up. I was already standing at the top when I saw Lexi making her way up the side. I thought about how she'd been really quiet lately, like she'd been down in the dumps. Maybe that was why I thought knocking her into the snow would snap her out of her trance. Without thinking it, though, something I never do anyway, I slid down the side and gave her a little shove. She tumbled backwards. I laughed hard. She didn't. I ran toward a smaller mound of snow. That was how the game started. Everyone joined in, running back and forth between the two mounds. We knocked each other down as we ran and we wrestled each other off the tops. I'm not sure how it happens, but somehow I got knocked down. I was watching out for Lexi when somebody shoulder checked me from behind. I fell off the mountain and landed on my belly. Lexi came running over and kicked snow in my face. I was fuming. It was one thing to knock each other down, but kicking snow in someone's face? That's just wrong. I was angry. I got on my knees and bam! Got knocked down on my face again. Now I was fuming and steaming. I pushed myself up to see who it was when bam! Same thing happened. This time the person held my face down too. I was so mad, I jumped up, pulled that snowball out of my pocket, and chucked it for all it was worth. Wonder where it's going. All right, boys and girls, we're going to end it on that today. Next character is Jessica. So right now might be a good time. If you got a post-it note to make a prediction of what you think might be happening next. All right. All right. So they're outside. They're playing, having a snowball fight. Let's see what happens next. All right. Have a wonderful day, boys and girls.